Kathy from Advanced Test Equipment Corporation. ATEC is a rental company. We partners with HV Technologies, and we have Patrick here today to talk about transient generators.
Yep, I'm the EMC sales manager for HV Technologies. We are the North American distributor for EMC Partner. EMC Partner is a Swiss manufacturer of transient generators, and today we're going to do a demonstration video on these transient generators. There are two different versions here. One is the IMU-MGE, which is a smaller version that's available with 4 or 5 kV transients, such as surge, EFT, voltage dips. And then the IMU-MGE here is a larger version, which is available with 6 or 8 kV and some additional tests, such as Ringwave or telecom surge. First, we are going to go through the combination wave surge menu in the IMU-MGE generator. You see here there's a couple tests that are highlighted in green. Those are the tests that are installed in this generator. Everything that is shown in gray is an option. It can be added later on, but this particular unit only has the tests listed out in green. So if I select combination wave surge, this is broken out into 5 submenus. So on the left we have level. So this is the test level. So you would enter your test level that you wish to test your device under test with. So let's say 2000 volts for instance, and the actual range that's the generator is capable of doing is listed there. So this one's 250 volts up to 8000 volts, followed by polarity. So here you would select positive or negative polarity, and there are some automation features built into the generator. For instance, a level ramp. Here I could tell the generator to start at a low level and increment by, let's say, 1000 volts up to the defined end test level after a certain number of pulses. So your generator will just issue the pulses and slowly ramp up until you reach your desired test level. There's also a polarity alternation feature here. So if I activate this, I could tell the generator to automatically switch polarity after X number of pulses. Moving over to the time menu, here up top you enter the number of pulses. So let's say you want to issue 10 pulses to your EUT, and then your repetition rate, that's the time between pulses. Normally the IEC standards typically say 1 minute between each pulse, but of course you have the capability to do that much quicker if you please. Trigger mode, here you have the option for setting it automatic, manually, or external. 9 out of 10 times you'll want to have it set to automatic because the generator will automatically trigger the pulse when it has reached its charging level. Moving over to the synchronization menu. So synchronization is a requirement for many tests when using AC power. So here you have the option to select EUT power. So if you're using the internal single phase CDN of the generator, that would be the EUT power mode, and you could enter the desired phase angle at which you want to release the surge pulse. So let's select 90 degrees for instance, and you have the capability to set any degree from 0 up to 359 degrees. Synchronization ramp. With this feature activated, I could start at a 0 degrees for instance, and step up by 90 degrees after 10 pulses. So that's another automation feature built in, so you can automatically switch through the sine wave at different phase angles, and most of the time 0, 90, 180, and 270 is where you need to test, but you're capable to select any other angle as you wish. Moving over to the coupling tab, so device internal, that means I'm using the internal single phase CDN. If I had a 3-phase CDN connected right now, it would show up here. I do not, so it does not show up. And then coupling path, here you have the 3 coupling paths defined in IEC 61000-4-5. So line to neutral, line to ground, and neutral to ground. Impulse out would be the direct surge output if you're connecting an external accessory like a 3-phase power line CDN or a data line CDN. And finally, the last submenu is the measurement tab. So this is a peak check. So you could, if you activate this for mark or fail, you could set voltage or current amplitude min-max thresholds. So this feature could be useful if you're checking when protection elements in an EUT are activated. Here we see our standard surge waveform as measured at the CDN output with a high voltage differential probe. And if I zoom out my time base, you can see that I'm also synchronizing at the 90-degree phase angle on my 60 Hertz sine wave. Switching over to the Ringwave test, you'll notice here everything is broken out into the same 5 submenus as it was for combination wave surge. So your test level, polarity, number of pulses, and repetition rate. Synchronization is another option, just as it is for surge. And then of course your coupling path selection. Here you have the capability to choose between 30 ohm or 12 ohm output impedance. And then you also have a peak check feature if you want to use that. Here on the oscilloscope we now see our 100 kilohertz ring wave pulse measurement. This is from the IEC 61000-4-12 standard. Switching to EFT. Here we have level time, synchronization, and coupling. The measurement peak check is not available for EFT. That's just because the EFT burst is too fast for the internal measurement to capture it. This is where you have to use a 50 ohm or 1000 ohm EFT attenuator to properly capture the waveform. Again, test level polarity, test time. So here, this is all defaulted to IEC 61000-4-4 requirements. So burst repetition, you can switch that from 300 milliseconds if you please. If you're unsure about something, there's a gray info button on each menu, and you're pressing on that. It's a little built-in help feature. So here it shows 300 millisecond burst repetition is the default for IEC 61000-4-4. For spike frequency, the standard requires 5 kilohertz and 100 kilohertz. Again, if you click on the little help feature, it shows you that as well. So everything here is defaulted, so basically you just have to enter your test level and you'll be compliant with the standard requirements. Synchronization, you can also synchronize the EFT burst onto your power line. And then coupling, so let's go over to internal CDN, and then usually you're coupling the EFT burst onto all 3 lines at once. So here on the oscilloscope we see our standard EFT waveform, and if I adjust my horizontal time base to 2 milliseconds per division, I can see the actual EFT burst duration. So that's a 15 millisecond burst duration, and it's a 5 kilohertz frequency between spikes. And if I zoom out even further, I can then capture my 300 millisecond burst repetition rate. Now I'll set up an actual test and show you the built-in reporting feature. IEC 61000-4-5 says to execute a test for AC power ports with 5 positive and 5 negative pulses, each at 0, 90, 180, and 270 degree phase angles. So we'll go into the surge menu. Let's select 1 kV test level, and I'll activate the polarity alternation feature, and we'll change from positive over to negative after each 5 pulses. Test time and repetition, we'll go ahead and speed things up and put it to 2 seconds. And we'll activate a synchronization ramp. So we'll start at 0 degrees, step up by 90 degrees, and change after 10 pulses. So that would be 40 pulses total. And we'll go ahead and couple line to neutral. So what I do here is I switch on power. So I have 120 volts, 60 hertz plugged into my EUT Power 1 input at the back panel of the generator. So it shows there it's measuring 120 volts, 60 hertz, but my EUT plugged into my front panel is not showing any volt or current measurement. So if I activate EUT Power 1, it shows then that the EUT has also received the 120 volt, 60 hertz power line. So my EUT is plugged in, it is connected, it is powered up. So if I run this test, it's going through the parameters I programmed. So we're doing 5 pulses positive, 5 pulses negative at 0 degrees, and then we're switching polarity to 90 degrees, followed by 180 degrees and 270 degrees. So what you see on the screen is a running log of each pulse. So it shows you the programmed value of 1000 volts, the internal measurement, followed by the internal current measurement, and coupling path, test level, synchronization angle, it's all showing up on the screen there. Anytime something is highlighted in red, that means that particular parameter has changed. So you'll notice here in a second it'll switch back from negative to positive polarity, and also we switch from 180 to 270 degree synchronization angle. Here's my running log of all the data that we just collected. So it shows you all 40 pulses. Select more, I can directly export this to a USB stick if it's plugged into the front panel, or if you have this generator connected to an internet browser over Ethernet, then you could get an HTML file from a web browser.
Thank you for watching our video on the EMC partner IMU-MGE conducted immunity test system. If you have any further questions or are interested in renting this unit, please reach out to us via email at atecorp.com or via phone at 800-404-2832.